Hello Internet, Mike Bertolini here, and I want to talk to you about an article I recently read about recasting the original cast of the Jurassic Park movie. When that got me thinking, who would I cast in a Jurassic Park show that was faithful to the book? The list is my opinion, but if it's interesting to you, remember to subscribe and click that like button. Let me know in the comments who you would cast. Remember, there will be some spoilers for the book, but it has been decades since it was released. You should read it and get back to this video. However, here's a spoiler warning. Dr. Alan Grant. The book describes Alan Grant as an outdoorsman, so an actor that looks a little gruff would be best. It was a little hard to come up with an actor, but the fact that he's an outdoorsman himself is what sold me. Jeremy Renner. Renner is known for playing the Avenger Hawkeye in the MCU, but he's been in many action and sci-fi movies like The Hurt Locker and Arrival. Dr. Ian Malcolm. The portrayal that Jeff Goldblum provided will never be surpassed. But who else can be funny and serious at the same time? Ryan Reynolds. The Deadpool actor has the skills to fill those shoes. Dr. Ellie Sattler. The Ellie Sattler from the book is young, athletic, tanned, and smart. I think that Ruby Rose has the potential to have those traits. She's a model actress, young enough to be clearly younger than Grant, yet with a strong attitude that gives her the look of contemplation. John Hammond. The book describes John Hammond as a marionette of a man, yet about as evil as Walt Disney. What actor is an older man capable of the diverse traits of this man? None other than Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins has been both good and evil, and his role in the show Westworld proves that he has the caliber to be ruthless. John Arnold. Arnold is a married with children chain-smoking engineer, and his name was changed from John to Ray for the movie. But I'm calling him John to differentiate this role from that in the film. He is a serious man, and Samuel L. Jackson did an excellent job with him in the movie, but when casting the book, I went with Jeffrey Wright. Wright has been in many large movie productions, including Westworld and Batman. Dennis Nedry. This one was difficult because I not only needed someone funny, but able to show desperation in his acting, and someone that can be eaten by a dinosaur. No offense, but I think Jonah Hill would best suit this, as he's a comedian that has been in diverse roles, many of which are dramas, and he isn't often a leading man. He usually plays secondary or otherwise background characters. Robert Muldoon. I was torn between two actors for this role, both of whom have played multifaceted characters and have a wide range of performance skill. And they're both British. In the end, I'm selecting Tom Hardy. Hardy revived the Mad Max movies and played as Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. Ed Regis. Ed Regis didn't appear in the movie. His character was combined with that of Donald Gennaro. But for TV, I think the character can get the screen time he deserves as well as the death I'm eager to see. So I need a middle-aged, red-haired male. Domhnall Gleeson. Donald Gennaro. I'm going to utilize the actor that was in the running for Robert Muldoon, but I feel can be more serious rather than gruff, but willing to commit himself when necessary. Martin Ferrero made audiences cry in joy when Gennaro was killed, but I think Benedict Cumberbatch will make the audience cry when he survives. Tim and Lex Murphy. For the movies, the ages of Tim and Lex were reversed, but in my fantastical cast, the ages remain the same, as much as possible. The problem with children actors is that their age limits what they can and cannot do, and if it doesn't happen soon, then my Mason Cook, who at the time of writing this is the age Tim would need to be. Lex is harder to cast, as I'd want someone to portray a girl of about 7. To my knowledge, this actress doesn't exist and would need to be cast. However, she needs to be Caucasian to reflect her relationship with Tim, as well as her relation with John Hammond. Lewis Dodson. There's only one actor that comes to mind as a businessman willing to do whatever is necessary to beat out a rival company. And that actor has already portrayed a businessman willing to do whatever is necessary to beat out a rival company. The only real problem is the character of Dodson doesn't get to see much screen time, so an actor of Sam Rockwell's caliber may be excessive. However, should The Lost World also be remade, Sam Rockwell can easily portray a villainous character. Henry Wu. Henry Wu in the books is much like B.D. Wong portrayed him in the film, young and idealistic. Watching some of his performances make me think that Vincent Rodriguez III can do it. Henry Wu plays a larger role in the book than he does in the film, but I have no reason to think that Vincent can't do it. Dr. Jerry Harding. The character of Jerry Harding isn't too prominent in the book, though he does treat a sick Stegosaurus and treat Ian Malcolm's injuries while doing his best to make him comfortable. So how old should he be? He is Sarah Harding's father, so it must appear that he has an adult daughter, and not as young as he appears in the Jurassic Park video game. Somewhere between the ages in the game and the film would be best. I can't pick my first choice because I decided when this began that I wouldn't recast any actors from the film franchise. That being said, I'm going with Matt Damon, because I think he can pull it off, especially if some gray hair was put into his hair. Dr. Martin Gutierrez. This is another character that doesn't appear in the movie, so there's no comparison to a film role. Gutierrez is an American with a thick southern accent, so an actor needs to be able to not only do the accent, but have the warm appearance to reassure the most distressed parent. I think that Gerald McRaney could do it, so he's no stranger to playing up his southern roots. Bob Morris. Bob Morris is barely in the novel, only being present for a few pages, but is really instrumental in getting the story going, especially when Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler are involved. He's described in the book as a kid in comparison to the other characters, but he's not actually that young, and searching online for a young adult actor is a daunting task. But I think that I found the face of a man that seems ready for business. Sean Keenan. Dr. Bobby Carter. The character of Dr. Roberta Bobby Carter only appears in the introduction to the novel, but we're also introduced to Ed Regis. Though I think her role can be expanded a little to prove how ruthless InGen can be. Carter's a medical doctor that has trained in Chicago and was working in Costa Rica. She can't necessarily look like a doctor, though she needs to clearly be experienced. I'm electing to cast Natasha Karem. The Bowmans, specifically Mike, Ellen, and Tina. These roles aren't very important to the story, but the parts of Mike and Ellen could be portrayed by Rodrigo Santoro and Mia Maestro. The Bowmans are supposed to be Southern Texans, and I've elected to give them a slight Hispanic edge, though it's not required. Both are former athletes, and though age has had its way with them, it wouldn't be inconceivable that they both still show signs of the former physique. The casting of Tina Bowman, now outlined, should make sense. Dr. Cruz. The hard-working doctor in Costa Rica that has not been in the films but helped Tina Bowman recover from her vacation ordeal could be portrayed by veteran actor John Leguizamo. My sympathies if John starts getting neckties from fans. Fans of the book will get the joke. Dr. Richard Stone. Dr. Stone didn't have a large role in the novel. He had to share most of his time with Alice Levin. Now the role is, by itself, unimpressive. However, I think the actor who portrayed this role could also voice the animated, and not in the book, but I think a great addition, Mr. DNA, and the tour narrator. So a voice actor is the way to go, but one that has proven himself to be dynamic and not camera shy. Matt Mercer. Alice Levin. This would be a small role, but the one that gets Alan curious to what InGen is doing, so it is still vital. I had this image in my head of a slightly frazzled mom, but one that is clearly perceptive. I'm casting Courtney Hengler, though I challenge the show writers to increase her role somewhat. Now, there are numerous other characters in the Jurassic Park franchise that either are not named or only have part of a name, and they will also need to be cast. That being said, that's it. Thank you for watching the video and listening to my arguments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon to be notified when I make future uploads. Let me know who you would cast in the roles if they were ever recast with current actors. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.